Hello, and welcome back to the Refugee Voice, where we share the inspiring stories of refugees who have faced incredible challenges and are making their mark on the world. With you today are Noura and Arwa, and we are glad to welcome our guest, Bتول. She is a young Syrian girl who fled her home country and built a new life in Lebanon. And eventually, she made it into one of the country's top universities. In this episode, we will hear her journey and her struggles, and the determination that led her to this incredible milestone. Thank you so much for joining us, Batul. How are you doing?
Thanks so much, Aro and Noura, for having me. It's actually a great opportunity to be sharing my story with you. Yeah, and I like the idea of this podcast, shedding light on refugee stories. So yeah, thank you again for having me.
You're welcome. So, first of all, could you introduce yourself?
Okay. So this is a short question that requires a very long answer. I'll try to give you a very brief answer. My name is Batoul Ghafari. I have BE in Industrial Engineering, Masters in Energy Studies with focus on energy economics. My family and I, because it is actually a refugee podcast, so I will mention the story of me as a refugee. So my family and I left Syria since 2013 because of the war in our city Homs, and we went to Lebanon. Yeah, so I studied the tertiary education, secondary education, and after that I applied for scholarships at the American University of Beirut, and I got accepted at the Mastercard Scholarship Foundation, and I pursued my BE there, and then I applied for another scholarship, and I got accepted, and I pursued my graduate studies.
Oh, very interested. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, the second question, uh, if we go back in time for a moment, what's one of your warmest memories from childhood? What was life like before the war in Syria?
Uh, yeah, life is like a film, and I'm going back to some of the worst scenes I had. Um, yeah, I think like okay, after we settled in Lebanon, I think one of the worst moments I had was was during me and my okay was when me and my sister uh finish school. Okay, let me tell you some info about our school and our educational journey. So my family and I refuged to Lebanon in 2013, as I mentioned earlier. And in 2013, actually, like the educational system for Syrian refugees was a bit vague. Like it was a complete mess. A lot of new students entered the Lebanese educational system, and the capacity was very limited. The schools were very limited, and they were not, of course, prepared for such an influx of students. So back then, some schools opened night shift programs, and I registered in one of the UN schools. My registration was very late, so I entered school, I think, in February, while the other students were attending school since September. And actually, this held a lot of a lot of stress, a lot of pressure on me because I was always comparing myself to my peers. I was watching them going to school, to their schools, attending, like doing their homeworks. They have like they are practicing the normal right of any child to get education. While I was like just staying at home and just watching them from the window. Yeah, it was so tough feeling. Then when the schools opened, I joined the school full of excitement, and I wanted to open a new chapter in my life. I wanted to be a successful person. So I put all, and I studied with all my with all my capabilities to perform to have the best performance. And the warmest moments were when we finish the night shift. So the night shift ends at around 8 p.m. 8 p.m. in winter in Lebanon. It's so dark in the streets. It's so cold because it's winter, and Lebanon is a cold country. So it's so cold, and actually at the schools there were not like stoves to have a sort of heat or warm in the classrooms. So when we go back from the school to the home, my mom used to prepare used to prepare soup. So when we enter home, we find our home very warm. My father just returned from his work. My mom prepared soup and food, and the stove spreading heat all around. So these were the warmest moments I had, like d- during that time at my tertiary educational journey.
Wow, what a cozy memory you shared with us. Actually, I have one question. You asked, you mentioned that the curriculum in Lebanon, maybe it is different than the curriculum in Syria. Do you know students who gave up and didn't study like you, weren't motivated, and didn't devote themselves in order to adapt to the new curriculum, to the Lebanese one?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, of course, there was very big difference between the Lebanese curricula and between the Lebanese curriculum and the Syrian one, especially when we speak about the language. So the main language in the Syrian curriculum is Arabic, as you know, and however, the main language in the Lebanese curriculum is English or French. Unfortunately, back in Syria, they don't like teach English language in good manner, so that we get the skills to communicate, to read, to comprehend English texts. So yeah, the transition was very difficult. Not all people were able to adapt to the new curriculum. Um, According to some surveys, they say that only around 1% of Syrian students who were attending the tertiary education were entering the secondary education. So yeah, the percentage is very, very low. Uh, I think the people who were the best performing people, who had the best performance in the Syrian curriculum, were able to adapt to the Lebanese curriculum. Actually, it doesn't only require a lot of extra hours studying. It does not only require you to translate a lot of words, to follow to follow up with your teachers, to do extra efforts, but also it requires like an inner intention and a great determination to be a successful person. And like a person who passes through this journey, of course, is such a resilient person. But unfortunately, not everyone has that resilience, has that resilient traits. So yeah, it ended up with a lot of students leaving education to go, like for most of my friends, they started to work in some jobs at the market. Many of the girls, it ended up with them choosing to get married, although they were at a young age, I think. So yeah, it was a very tough period.
Very sorry to hear that. So, as you mentioned that the language was very different from the Syrian curriculum, and we know that here they don't teach English in a good way. So, there in Lebanon, how did you adapt to the different language, and how did you improve it to continue studying in that new system?
Yeah. Actually, I gave it a lot of efforts to adapt to the new curriculum. I remember that I was translating the biology lessons word by word. Back then, I didn't have the opportunity to get Google Translation on my phone. So I told my father that I want a dictionary. You know, the dictionary, the paper dictionary. It's like I don't know, hundreds of pages. So I was like opening the dictionary, the paper dictionary, and I was like translating each word, the biology and the physics lessons word by word. And then I was memorizing them. I was writing them on my notebook and then memorizing them. And yeah, this took a lot of time for me to read a text without having the dictionary in my pocket to translate the words and to understand the main idea of the text. Yeah, this is in terms of the comprehension skills, how I developed them. Speaking about my conversation skills or my speaking skills, actually, I was fortunate and I was lucky, and subhanallah, God sent me a lot of good person in my life to help me in that journey. So my English teacher was always encouraging me to speak in English in class, whether I was like speaking nothing or I was speaking correctly. So he was encouraging me to speak English in the class, and yeah, I took this opportunity to speak. And I remember that back then my friends were sometimes like putting a lot of jokes, throwing a lot of jokes about my accent and about me trying to speak in English. You know, the Syrian culture. And yeah, I got the chance to have an American friend who also encouraged me to read the stories, and then and she allocated a specific time for me to practice conversation skills. So every Tuesday, I think, I was going to her home, reading a story, and then giving my own reflection in my own words. She was speaking with American accent, and yeah, that gave me a lot of gave me the advantage to acquire the accent and to practice my conversation skills. So yeah, being surrounded by supportive people, being surrounded by people who always encouraged me and motivated me is the key to adapt to the new curriculum.
That's really inspiring. Your learning journey was really hard, but you got it. So happy for you.
Thank you so much.
So now, do you remember the moment when you realized it was no longer safe and you had to leave?
Yeah, it wasn't a moment, it was a full month. Yeah, I remember, I think in June 2013. In June 2013, like the bombardment was everywhere in our neighborhood, and they announced the siege. And after the announcement, the siege announcement, um, many news agencies were warning the residents of Al-War neighborhood, my neighborhood, that slaughtering will be happening in few hours. Uh, yeah, and this happened before in neighboring areas. So some militias who are supported by the Assad regime started the slaughtering process in our neighborhood. And I remember the conversation between my father and our neighbor. It was like just should we choose to stay at our home and be slaughtered with sharp knives so that we get died very quickly, or should we go go or should we go like for a distance away from our home and then get slaughtered by not sharp knives, but we will die slowly. And this conversation, like back then, I was only, I think, 12 years old. So that type of conversation was a horror movie for me. And then I started begging my father that we should leave. We should leave. And as a father who has roots in that city, he was rejecting the reality. He was refusing to leave his home city, his house, everything he had in life. So, but when it was very dangerous, and when they announced the siege, and then my mom got a heart attack, he realized that if he will stay for another only one day, he will bring death to us. So he decided to leave the country. And yeah, that was the moment that when we decided to leave the country and then refuged to Lebanon.
How was your feeling when you leave? At that moment specifically, how was your feeling? Like you were just a child, and you didn't understand a lot about what's happening, but as a child, how was your feeling?
Unfortunately, I was understanding everything happening around. And I'm saying unfortunately because sometimes consciousness adds burden on you as a child. Yeah, and I wish that I wish to be like other children, not being able to understand what's happening around. Um, However, I was conscious enough to know and to analyze and to carry a lot of worries about my future, about my life. Back then, when my father decided to leave the country, I was so happy. I felt that okay, I will get the opportunity to have life again. So I was very very happy, and I remember the moment the taxi entered into the Lebanese lands, I felt like I was able to escape from a nightmare. It was a nightmare to get slaughtered. It was a nightmare to decide to point to the room that you will try to hide in if the militias entered into your home and were to slaughter you. So it was a nightmare for a child, and we were given life again the moment we entered Lebanon. For that reason, I was very motivated and I was very excited to start a new chapter because I felt like God gave us a life, another life, and we should open a new chapter and we should do our best to forget all the massive pain we have been through and to open a new life and to start something new.
I'm so glad that you felt safe when you first arrived to Lebanon. What was your first impression about Lebanon? The streets, the sounds, the people. Was there a major difference between the cities in Syria and in Lebanon?
Okay, that's a good question. My first impression about Lebanon. It was very chaotic place. Although that we were under siege in Syria, I remember that our neighborhood was still organized. Like the trash was in its place, and the people, the residents of the neighborhood, were always trying to get rid from the trash using some methods which were actually not harming anything in the environment. And we were not like feeling that it is something like it's something we should worry about. However, in Lebanon, when I first entered Lebanon, I was shocked by the amount of trash which were spread all along the street. I was I noticed that the streets are very narrow, something I'm not used to back in my home city in Homs. Maybe because I was living somehow in a very organized neighborhood. But I noticed that the streets are very narrow. The weather is very humidity. Speaking about the people, the people were okay. I'm just remembering everything was happening. In the first place, I think in the first months we hadn't any interaction with any Lebanese person. We were living with our uncle, so I didn't had any personal interaction with any Lebanese person. And unfortunately, the first interaction was with Lebanese person was with the principal of a school in Lebanon. When my cousin and I tried to register in a school, and then she refused, and she was very racist person. So the first impression wasn't good. However, with time, I had interaction with the ammo who sells who works in a supermarket, and he was a very kind person. And then I started to change that impression and to realize that Lebanese people like they love Syrian people, but this does not apply to everyone. So yeah.
So when you first arrived, did you feel safe right away? or did that fear and uncertainty stay with you for some time?
Yeah, as a child, I felt safe. However, when I asked this question to my mother, she says like she was feeling unsafe, she was feeling uncertain, she has no idea about the, the city she's living in. Yeah, and she had very bad experiences in in Syria. So yeah, I think this is a very good question, but yeah, for me as a child, it was safe. And it was the place that I am seeing that I gonna flourish in, and I want to open a new chapter in. So I felt safe. And I still remember the discussion with my mother. I was trying to convince her to go to a volunteering activity, and she was saying like, "No, she is not that. No, she is not. She was not like." She was not feeling safe. Everyone around is might harm us. A lot of racist people are there. And then I tried to convince her not all the people are racist, and we will grow in this country, and we're gonna have a life in this country, and we cannot have life. We cannot grow. We cannot get opportunities if we stayed inside our home because we are afraid to face the people and to interact with them. And like I tried to convince her for very long days, and then she got convinced, and she allowed me to participate in the volunteering activity.
Okay, so how was the first days in Lebanon? So how was your daily life like? Housing, food, health? Was it stable or was it a constant struggle?
Okay, so for me as a child also, like I was not I wasn't able to observe all the financial struggles back then. Um, yeah, I was enjoying my life with my cousins. They were funny people, and we were like enjoying our moments playing around. Um, yeah. So for me as a child, I was feeling safe. I was feeling stable, and I think my mother worked uh, on her own to make us feel stable. So she was like telling us that this is our home. We will not change it. Unlike like other Syrians, they altered their homes for 6 or 7 times. So she was always saying that this is our home. We're gonna live in it for a very long age. This is your room. This is your bed, and this is your table. You're gonna study here. So she was trying actually uh, to build a relationship, to make us build a relationship with our home, with our things, to feel that sense of stability. And this is important. And yeah, I think this is one of the things that made me feel stable.
I think that it's the exact reason that you felt safe and your mother didn't, because you didn't realize how much it's difficult to like raise children in a different homeland.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, was there a moment from that early period that was especially hard, like something that still stays with you today?
Yeah, I think the moments of racism, uh, like when we tried to register in the secondary school, and it was the only school teaching in English in Tripoli. So when we were trying to register in that school and we were having very good grades, when I'm saying I'm referring to me and my friends. Our grades were very good. Actually, we had the distinction and high distinction. And then she told us that she hates Syrian. She doesn't want to allow any Syrian student to enter into a Lebanese school. She doesn't want to ruin the Lebanese culture. by Syrian students, and she doesn't care about grades. She doesn't care about our successes, our success. All she cares about is our accent, and this will affect the Lebanese accent of our peers and our classmates. And yeah, she was saying these words to someone someone in 15. I was 15 years old, or 14, I think. And yeah, and I worked a lot actually to get a high distinction in grade 9, and to be able to continue my education. So it was my only hope in life. And she was saying that she will not allow us to practice our right and to get registered into school. So yeah, it was very tough. However, we were very strong. We were very strong people. We started to reach out to organizations, to the UN, to people who knows the principle, and yeah, we were able to be the first Syrian cohort registered in the school after having a lot of pressure from NGOs to allow us to register.
Wow, that's great. That you are such a resilient student. Now let's turn to happy moments. It's enough from sad moments. Was there in Lebanon people who are kind and who helped you in the process of shifting maybe from the Syrian to Lebanese curriculum, a certain NGO or a program that helped Syrians? And what was
Yeah,
that?
I mentioned that during when I was answering the question regarding how I got adapted to the new Lebanese curriculum and how I got this transition smooth. Yeah, I mentioned that my teachers were very supportive, my Lebanese teacher, and they were always encouraging me to try to speak English, to try to solve some physics problems and math problems, to think loudly, and I told you about the American friend who was allocating a full day, a part of her day, to allow me to go and have a cup of coffee with her to practice English. So yeah, of course, many of the Lebanese people were supporting me, and without them, I would have never been able to reach this level. And yeah, many of my Lebanese friends always were there when I needed their support, their kind words, and sometimes their help in some issues. So yeah, and I had a lot of Lebanese friends who are very very close to my heart. Yeah, I think we shouldn't talk about Lebanese or Syrian people. We should talk about people who are good and people who are bad.
Exactly. And I think the environment is very crucial thing. And it's such a luck to have good people around you in your hard journey. So without them, I think it were gonna be very hard for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So now let's talk about education. How did you get into university, and what were the biggest challenges? You are a refugee, and of course you have many barriers such as the language, documents, and the acceptance is a bit hard itself. So how was it?
Getting to university, actually, it was very exceptional, unexpected, and unplanned. Yeah, I remember that when I was in grade 11, during a workshop, the facilitator of the workshop came to me and she told me that there are some university scholarship at AUB. And then I asked her, what does AUB mean? And she laughed. And she told me that it is the American University of Beirut, الجامعة الأمريكية. And I said like, okay, I will apply for it. Back then, I had no idea what does AUB mean, and and I had no idea about how prestigious is this university, and what does scholarship mean. So when I was in my baccalaureate or in grade 12, she contacted me and she sent me some applications for scholarships at the AUB. It was Tomorrow's Leaders Mastercard in the USA. And when I opened the application, first it was the application of MAPI. When I opened it, I was a bit suspicious. Like, why are they collecting all these information? Are they working with the acid regime? Will they take this information to the acid regime? And are they collecting it for a purpose to know more about me and my family, to give it to the acid regime? So I had all these suspicious questions. However, I filled the application and I said, okay, let's see what's gonna happen. Uh, um, and after that, back then actually I had also no idea about the undergraduate programs offered at AUB. They had like computer science, some engineering, and I know that I love physics and math. And as you know, as a Syrian, in a Syrian mindset, every person who have good grade and is top performance at is one of the top students at his or her school, they go into either engineering or medicine. So for me, the path was okay, let's go into engineering. Then I filled the application of MAPI, MasterCard, and USAID. And then I chose MasterCard because it offered me an engineering. It allowed me actually to pursue a BE, an industry engineering. And that's how I chose my major. And that's how I got acceptance into AUB. When I remember when I go back to into grade 12, I remember that the path was very vague for me. I had no idea in which university I gonna register. I was worried about the expenses, and I was sharing these my worries with my friends, Syrian friends. I planned to study to work at a clothes store to be able to afford the tuition fees of the Lebanese university, although that they were cheap. But it was a plan in my head. But Alhamdulillah, yani Allah had better plans. And I was awarded a full scholarship at AUB.
That's amazing. It's really amazing.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so I'll ask you two questions. The first one is, how was your feeling when you got the acceptance letter? Or maybe it was a call. And the second one, how was your first day at university? So it's all about emotional questions.
Okay. Actually, the first call was from MAPI. And I remember that the person was calling me who was on the call was very excited to share the news that I got accepted at this scholarship, at this prestigious scholarship. And when he said that, Btول, you are accepted at AUB with a full scholarship from the American Embassy, I said, okay, great, thank you. And I ended the call. Back then, actually, I didn't have a full idea about what the scholarship mean. I thought that they can only pay the tuitions.
the AUB tuition. But all the living expenses, I thought that I should pay them on my own. And I was worried. I'm a very overthinker person, by the way. I overthink. So I was worried that, okay, now they paid tuition for me. I should try to get a job to be able to afford to live in Beirut. And Beirut is an expensive city. Uh, however, when the letter, when they sent me all the details, uh, I was shocked that there is a monthly stipend and the accommodation they will be paid by them, and everything will be paid by them. Yeah, I was so happy, and I told my mom. I felt like it was a dream. Uh, for like I remember also reflecting back or going to my first night at AUB. I remember that when I arrived to the dorms, yeah, I was so happy, and I was very excited, and I loved AUB campus. I loved how green it is, how vibrant, the spirit of students. I loved all the details about the campus. And I'm a very social person, so I spent my first day, all my first day on campus, يعني. Yeah, so my first night in the dorm, I felt like it was a dream. It was a dream going to true. Yeah, I thanked God because He gave me this opportunity, and yeah, I was very grateful. I think the word grateful is the word that can reflect my feelings back then.
Wow, that's amazing. So you didn't had any idea of what does AUB mean? And it seems that your background maybe was a reason that you didn't know what does it mean. So did you have any cultural shock when you first attended AUB, and how did you overcome that shock?
I didn't had like this very big cultural shock. Yeah, I was just discovering, and I was just discovering all what's around. And I had that mindset back then that, okay, I will face a lot of people who are not from my background, who have different way of thinking, who are coming from different countries. So this mindset actually allowed me uh, to accept all the differences that I had with all my peers around. So I didn't I don't remember that I had that great cultural shock. No.
Okay, so that's amazing. Now I'll ask you, what's your plans after graduation?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough question during this stage. Yeah, so I finished my master's into energy studies. And yeah, what's upcoming? I'm now applying for PhD in energy economics. Uh, I like this field, and like I'm someone who belongs to nature, and I want to drive the net zero plan into action and to make it early reality. And I strongly believe that this will not happen without having economic models and incentives and frameworks that would allow everyone on the globe to participate in the campaign to make the net zero coming true. So my passion into economics and energy uh, is pushing me to pursue higher studies, PhD, in this field.
because I believe that this is the way where we can create real impact. And we are on the edge, actually. We are on the edge of climate change and of high pollutant emissions. So, yeah, if we did not save the world, I don't think that we're gonna have a word. Like many countries will end up with the catastrophic events.
That's amazing. I really loved your answer. And actually, I rarely seen students who really love and care about environment. So it's great that you care and that you are passionate about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, in our air world, it's still it's still luxurious to think about environment, and people will say, "Okay, let's get first the bread and salt, and then think about the trees." However, if they did not think about the trees, they will not be able to get water to make the bread. So yeah, it's essential. And I think we should, and we have the responsibility to spread awareness among the younger generation about environmental sciences, environmental studies, energy studies, to make uh, sustainability and to make this transition, energy transition happening in our region. We can now see how the climate change is affecting our home country, Syria, with a lot of fires happening in the forests. Yeah, um, with the with very low rainfalls this year, and many other catastrophic environmental events due to war and due to other human activities. So yeah, we have the responsibility to spread awareness about these issues.
Actually, yes, these issues, we have to care more about them and spread awareness, as you said. Now, let's go back to your refugee experience. So, how did your refugee experience change your dreams?
Okay. Uh, okay, you know that after the fall of the Assad regime, I was reflecting on my whole journey, and I put an assumption in my mind. The Assad, what if the Syrian revolution wasn't there, and I was still Bتول, the the spoiled daughter of the family, living in her home with mother working as an engineer and a father working as an electrician, with all the stability in her home, in her country. And yeah, I discovered that I will be a selfish person. Maybe I will be a successful person going into medicine, uh, like getting good grades, going into medicine because uh, I would be very greatly influenced by the mindset of the Syrian people. However, I would not be uh, the person who I am today with the values I believe in. I would not be the person who is always committed to help her community, to create a change, to to having this courageous mindset to go into new adventures, to suggest like maybe bold ideas that can have impact on on her community, to go out of the box and pursue higher studies in energy economics. So yeah, I would not be that girl. I would not be the girl who's ready actually to face the challenges, even if they are very big, boldly, to make impact. So yeah,
the life of refugees taught me to be a bold person, to be resilient, to be a high achiever, to be always looking for better opportunities, not only to improve my own life, but also to lift others.
Really inspiring. I really surprised of how much your thoughts are. They are really great.
Thank you so much, Arwa.
Okay, so I'll ask you a question. It's a deep question, but I'd like to ask you, what do you wish the world truly understand about refugees beyond the stereotypes?
Beyond breaking the stereotype about refugees and portraying them as people who are fragile and capable, beyond that, I would like to see the world giving them stability in their hosting communities. Like, okay, I have visited refugees camp, and I was refugee. And when I visited the refugees camp, I was able to sense all the instability they are living through. They are living in tents for 7 years, maybe 8 years, maybe 12 years. And every time I was raising my voice to the NGOs and the people who are in power, they were saying, Betول, we should not give them permanent residence and good type of I don't know, like good type of like something stable, because at the end of the day they will go back to their home country, and we should always remind them that they should go back to home country. And this thought about refugees is dangerous. Not only, like, it's not dangerous actually, it's devastating and disappointing and upsetting, because like a child who raised in this tent, why he should always feel that sense of instability, because we should always remind him that, okay, you should go to your home country. A child of 7 years, why he should suffer from bitter cold, from hot, from rain, from snow, just because we should remind them that they have home country. I know children who are now 12 years old, and they live their entire life in camps under tents, and they hate winter season. Why? Because it comes with a lot of suffering. Just because we should not give them stable tents, better, like just a better quality actually of tents, to feel that stability. So yeah, or because they did not want to give them approval to build small rooms to live in. They spend their entire lives living under an island plastic tent, and this is so, like, this is catastrophic, and this is so silly.
Yeah, this is so heartbreaking news. And this is a bitter reality of our life. This is the inequality that we are living nowadays in all of its forms. So now we reached to the end of the interview. So finally, if there anything you'd like to add, something you haven't been asked about, or something you'd like to share with us, feel free to tell us.
Thank you, Arwa and Noura. Actually, I was impressed by the idea of having a podcast for refugees, sharing their stories. Yeah, the idea is so bold. And Syria is lucky to have you. Yeah, you are the younger generation who can change a lot about the stereotypes of Syrian refugees and others. You are the people who will build Syria and who will shape its future. So I'm so happy that that I had the chance to participate in this podcast, and the questions you prepared are like are insightful, and they actually touched uh, touched me, touched my memory, took me back to my journey since its early stage. So yeah, thank you so much for the questions. Yeah, I'm so happy because I'm here, and I wish you all the best.
Actually, we thank you, Btول, so much for sharing your story and your journey with us today, and for your honesty. We really appreciate that you trust in us and told us your story. It's really inspiring one, and we know very well that it will resonate with many people. We thank you so much. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in the Refugee Voice. We hope today's conversation opened new perspectives and touched your hearts. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you don't miss the next episodes. Until then, take care and keep listening.